All right, welcome back. Now, in the past month, the Nigerian army has been hit with accusations of war crimes and crimes against humanity, especially the military's operations now in the northeast of the country. Amnesty International has been at the forefront of those accusations. On December 10th, the group released a statement urging the Office of the Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, ICC, to open a formal investigation against Nigeria over serious violations of international humanitarian law and human rights law committed by both the terrorist group Boko Haram and Nigerian security forces since 2009. Now, that statement came days after the ICC, in the preliminary report, accused the army of war crimes as well. The ICC prosecutor in the report said it had received 169 communications from Nigeria, noting that the analysis of the calls showed the army has committed war crimes varying from murder, torture, and intentionally attacking the civilian population. The army, of course, and the Nigerian military has denied all of the accusations. And just about a week ago now, Amnesty International released another report accusing Nigerian security forces and the government of complicity in the deaths of 3,641 persons in the past 3 years from the farmers-herders clashes. The army also denied that report and instead accused Amnesty International of working to destabilize the country and demoralize troops fighting insurgency in the northeast. The government has also reacted. The presidency accused Amnesty International of bias in its reportage of events in the country. Presidential spokesman Garba Shehu says the federal government is concerned about the role that Amnesty International is playing in the war against terror in Nigeria. Joining me on the program right now is Awal Rafsanjani, who is the chairman of Amnesty International Nigeria. Mr. Rafsanjani, thank you very much for joining us in the program. First off, let me get your reaction to the denial by the military and, of course, the accusation it has leveled against Amnesty International.
Thank you very much. Let me first and foremost say that dismissal or denial of these obvious human rights abuses in Nigeria by the Nigerian army or security forces is not going to help the matter, because Nigerians who are victims of the human rights abuses, they have always, spoken about this, and there are so many evidences to prove all these allegations. And what Amnesty does is simply to compile and document this violation and seek for redress, advising government to look at some of these lapses in order to address the human rights abuses. There's nothing new that Amnesty has actually said. All the things that we have published has been already in public domain. Nigerian newspapers, Nigerian, community, different communities, religious leaders, ethnic, leaders, all of them, they all, have said the same thing. So what Amnesty does simply was just to compile this, document it, present it to the public and the government, so that government can take necessary steps to deal with these issues. So what we are saying is that there's nothing new that Amnesty had actually published, apart from the fact that Amnesty International Nigeria just helped to compile, document these abuses and seek redress, and justice for the people that have continuously violated the right of Nigerians.
Now let's talk about because you just said what Amnesty International Nigeria has basically done is to compile these abuses. Now, in compiling them, just let us know how you went about compiling them. Were you relying basically on reports you got from the media, or you actually went to communities and actually spoke one-on-one with some of the people allegedly abused, so to speak?
As a matter of fact, we went the villages within the 5 states that these clashes have happened in the last 3 years. We have gone there 52 times. We have conducted interview, more than 260 interviews, were conducted. we have also verified and review reports, complaints, from different communities, of over 200, complaints and reports. And when we did that, we didn't just go to the press to present this. We equally, drew the attention, or rather sending a draft, to the relevant government agencies to also verify some of this. And as usual, they don't even reply you, they don't respond, and we have obligation to make sure that.
So in this case now, when you compiled or you gathered these reports from the field, now you went to these various states that you've talked about, your preliminary, the outcome of your preliminary investigation before publishing, you actually sent to the military demanding their response, and you didn't get anything.
Yeah, usually before Amnesty actually publish or presents a report, we usually share this, to seek clarification, from the relevant, government agencies, and that has also been done, and there was no any response to that matter. So I want to assure the general public that Amnesty International is not just, interested just to blame anybody, but we are actually, providing opportunity for government to other.
So, but let me get this straight. In the case of the military, did Amnesty International send that preliminary report now to the Nigerian military to get its own input before you published?
You can go and confirm from them, not only on this report, even on the previous report that we have launched. We have always, shared, or seek their, clarification on some of the issues we have raised. But we didn't get a response, because the truth of the matter is that, sometimes there's the communication, gaps, within the government, everybody knows that, many a times they don't respond, on timely basis, or they don't even answer you at all. And we cannot allow the lives of Nigerians being, wasted without drawing the attention of government. So if we give you, or we got information, we ask you to clarify, and you do not clarify, we would definitely go ahead, to make it public that, look, this is what is going on. This is the allegation we have received, because they were all allegations, and we want you to confirm, we want you to verify. And if you don't come back to us, it means that, you are okay with that, So we cannot wait for eternity before we go and let people know that this thing happens, because the lives of Nigerians are being wasted, on a regular basis, and there's no reason why we should, not advocate for the end of this, senseless killings and violence that has been happening in our community.
Go on.
Secondly, I want you to, Secondly, I want you to understand that, like I said, whatever we have reported, it has already been in the public domain. And in many instances, the media had published it. Communities have already spoken about it. Victims, direct victims of these human rights abuses, they have also, said it. So like I said, what Amnesty International Nigeria is doing is helping to put together this instance of, violation, and draw the attention of the government, so that government can take proactive measure to end the kind of senseless violence that is going on in the country.
How much of media reportage now do you rely on in compiling your report?
Well, we get media reportage, but at the same time we go there to the field physically to interview, to interact, to get a first-class hand information from the victims, who have suffered these human rights abuses. So even though we have reports from the media, but we also rely on our researchers who have gone to the field to interview people, and also we get formal complaints from the different communities that have suffered these human rights abuses. So it is a process. It is a long process. It's not just a process of somebody sitting down to write a report. No, it is a compilation, interviews, interaction, report, complaints that we receive that we form
and
our
how do
the
you
basis of our
sorry
own
sorry to
report. And
interrupt,
even when
but
we
how do
put
you
it
see,
together,
for instance, what some of these respondents tell you? Because how do you sieve to be sure that what they are telling you is the truth?
because we don't rely on one respondent, we go and interview both sides of the groups. So, for example, in this case, farmers versus headers. So we don't just interview, headers. We don't just interview only the farmers. We interview both of them. And what we have got from both sides is that they are tired of this violence, and that in all the response that we got from them, the responses we got from them is that they are unanimously, complain about how security are not responding to this early warning. They will inform the security about something happening. They will not see anybody. And in both, situation, we have found out that they also, being extorted. The money is being collected from these victims,
Who
and yet
collects money
they
from
are
them?
not
Is
being
it the
protected,
military?
and yet some of the security agencies, they do collect, because this is what they told us, that they actually collect money from them, and yet no safety, no security is given to them. And this thing is not something that one can even debate. Even you can see when you are on the road, the police can, stop you to extort money from you, and sometimes if you don't cooperate, they can even kill you. There are so many instances like that. So what these people are saying, they are not lying, because it is not one person, two person that is making this allegation. It is many, people we have interviewed, and that is why we say government should investigate. We are not even saying that this is absolutely, true. What we are saying is that we have received this allegation. Can you investigate so that you find out among your officers who were involved in this, and then make sure that you stop this kind of extortion and this kind of violation that is going on.
Also going beyond,
we are even calling it allegation. We are not even saying that it
as
has happened. We call it allegation so that government
accusations against the Nigerian military and the Nigerian government. I mean, accusations now of crimes against humanity, and of course, yes. And of course, asking the ICC to come in.
Yeah, you see, because of this, because government itself had recognized that these violations are happening, these killings are happening, this corruption in the security sector are happening. That is why even the government itself is prosecuting some of the security officers who have actually siphoned public funds meant for providing safety and security for Nigerians. So what we are saying, we are just collaborating with what government is actually doing. Right now, as I speak to you, Nigerian government is prosecuting some people who had collected money or who have diverted money meant to fight insurgency. So that is one. Number two, the government itself, because of the genuineness and the complaint that people are making, they established a committee, they set up a committee to investigate human rights abuses. This committee submitted its report. Till today, as I speak to you, no white paper, nothing has happened to that. So all we are saying is that government, you have agreed that there is a problem in terms of the issue of human rights abuses. You went ahead to set up a committee. This committee submitted its report, but yet you did not make this finding of this committee, to public, and neither have you also, ensure accountability for people who have done wrong. And failure to do that, you are giving more incentives for some of the officers to be doing things with impunity. And in order to save the life of Nigerians, you need to make sure that anybody that is involved in this violation, you sanction that person or that group of people, so that people can be assured that if their right is violated, they can actually rely on government to protect them as enshrined in our constitution. That's all we are saying. So there's nothing, we are not there to fight government or to fight any army or security. We are there to draw their attention to their primary responsibility, which is protecting and promoting the rights and properties of Nigerians. That's all we are saying. We are not doing anything. We are not politicians. We are not a religious group. We are not ethnic group. We are not any affiliated with any groups that is out there for any mischief. What we are interested in is that because this right is for all of us as Nigerians. If today you are in uniform, you are violating somebody's right. Tomorrow, you may be out of uniform and your right may be violated. As you can see, the former chief of, defense staff, he was murdered like an ordinary Nigerian. And when he was in position, these are the same people who they think that maybe perhaps Amnesty International is disturbing them. But really look at it now. Because nobody is guaranteed of his right protected if you continue to allow people to carry arms, to kill people at will. So this is why we are calling on government, rather than just dismissing this obvious fact, let them just starting up, let them put things in place to make sure that they protect the right of Nigerians, because everybody needs this safety and protection. Thank you very much,
Mr. Al Rafsanjani, for joining us on the program. Well, that's it on the program, but if you want to watch it again, it's simple. Just go to our website, www.tv360nigeria.com. You'll find this program and lots more there. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/TV360 Nigeria. You can as well join us on Google+. It's at TV360 Nigeria, or like us on Facebook. The address is facebook.com/TV360 online. You can follow us on Twitter as well. It's at TV360 Nigeria. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week.